So, Joyce, in British law, when your mom murders you, you write a will and then you get the mom stuff.
I can't believe we paid $30 for that.
Oh, you feel like you got gypped by Cruella, the movie?
Indeed. It didn't make any sense.
It made a lot of sense because in the beginning, spoiler alert, in the beginning, she's a little girl. And then her mom gets murdered because she goes to some mysterious woman's house who she asks money for, but then instead of giving her money, the lady kills her by having her dogs push her off a cliff. Are you following me? Later, the girl grows up as a street urchin in London until she gets a job. Her friends pull some strings, you see.
Right.
You following me?
I did watch it with you.
And so she ends up working for this woman, the Baroness, only to find out the Baroness was the fucking woman that pushed her mom off the cliff. And this Baroness is like a fashionista. She runs like a clothing line of real expensive clothes. Fashion.
Couture.
Is that a word?
Yep.
Could you say that word again, please?
Couture.
What does that mean?
So fancy clothes.
One of those. So then she develops this alter ego called Cruella. Oh, the girl's name is Estella. Estella. So she develops this alter ego. And then it's kind of
Her
like...
mom gave her the nickname Cruella because she was being cruel as a child.
And the Baroness uses this dog whistle, so when the little girl hears the dog whistle...
Which you can't hear as a human.
She can hear dog whistles because she's a special girl. She puts it all together like, this is the bitch that killed my mom. I'm going to get my revenge. And then it plays out like a revenge movie until she gets her revenge at the end and usurps the Baroness's fashion throne.
And also somehow inherits her fortune even though she's not dead.
God damn it, Joyce. Under British law...
Stop saying it's under British law.
They're in Britain.
When you write a will, it is executed upon your death and for no other reason. So how did she inherit the fortune at the end?
Let me explain this to you.
No.
Under British law, let's say my mom is a baroness, and I write a will saying all of my shit, which I would presumably...
She wouldn't have written because she disowned her daughter to begin with, so she would have never been in the will.
No, she denied her daughter in the first place,
Correct.
which is not the same as disowning them under British law.
She would not have put her in a will if a will were even in force, in effect, which it wasn't because the Baroness didn't die.
No. She had no will. That was how she...
Right, and she didn't die, so the money is still hers. It doesn't matter that she's in jail.
No,
How did Cruella get the money?
In British jail, in British law, when you go to jail...
Stop saying in British law, you're making it up.
Anyway, she inherits the Baroness's throne because she's the Baroness's daughter.
But we don't understand how that happened. Makes no sense.
We don't.
No.
Anyway, how'd you like the movie?
It was so dumb.
I thought it was the best fashion film I'd seen since Garbage Pail Kids.
Since The Devil Wears Prada?
No. Oh, that was a fashion movie too.
Indeed.
I was thinking more Garbage Pail Kids because it's a kids movie.
And you want people to recognize the soundtrack?
That was a deep cut. Movies about fashion.
So yeah, there was multiple things about it that didn't really make sense. First of all, she recognized the dog whistle sound when you can't hear a dog whistle sound. That's the first blaring. obvious thing. Why did the mom need to ask the mom who was not the real mom? Why did she have to ask the Baroness for money when she had been raising this girl the entire time on her own? Like, why did all of a sudden doesn't have any money because she got kicked out of school?
No, some shit happened.
She got kicked out of school. They didn't even have to move. She chose to move because she was kicked out of school.
That was another plot hole. Is in the beginning of the movie, she's Cruella, the girl, Estella, is going to this very fancy boarding school, like a British one too. You know, that's big money. But now she's going to send her off to London public school, which one would presume would be cheaper.
Right.
But now she needs money.
So why did this even have to take place?
I mean, she had to have some reason to throw her off a cliff. But anyway, another thing is Cruella had half black, half blonde hair.
White.
But she dyes it red as a disguise. So I know I'm just a guy with brown hair. But I happen to know that when you're dyeing your hair, you have to bleach the black part first in order to get it red, right?
Indeed. Yeah. The way she did it, she just poured it on her hair. And there's absolutely no way that it wouldn't have been two different shades of red.
Yeah, it was, so yeah, just a lot of little dumb things. But speaking of it being a kid's movie, who was this movie for?
Unknown.
Because
wasn't there some cussing or some real unkid-like behavior, smoking or something? Something happened. I can't remember exactly why, but it was like, why would you put this in a kid's film?
That was the thing. Is like
what was it?
It was clearly a grown-ups movie. It was a very tame adult film. It was like Disney
except for it didn't make any sense.
I think it was for us. Like, we were supposed to be these wholesome individuals who grew up, you know, in the 70s and 80s watching these Disney movies, and then, like, now we're old, and we want to say, oh, I remember that character.
It wasn't for me.
I would love to watch a prequel.
It wasn't for me.
It wasn't for me either. And, like, towards the end of it, once I realized it, like, you know, you see it all play out. And, like, kids don't care about fashion. Like, there was some, like, you know, Mission Impossible little type stuff. And that could have been interesting for a kid, but, like, not to
the best.
Even that was not cartoonish or anything.
Funniest thing in the movie was the Chihuahua being dressed up as a rat.
He was legitimately cute in the rat costume.
That was the best part.
Speaking of which, I recognized the dude from Cobra Kai.
You did.
As the one stupid henchman.
Mm-hmm. That was a good call.
I spotted him. I give him credit. He was pretty good in this too. Pretty funny in Cobra Kai as well.
Was there anything you liked about the movie?
I liked some of the soundtrack, but at the same time, the soundtrack was annoying because it's a shove the soundtrack up your ass type of movie. Like when you're watching Joe Dirt, or you're watching Forrest Gump, or Goodfellas. It's you know, like you're just getting blasted by this fucking soundtrack. Like, remember this song? Remember this song? Remember this song?
Right, and it does not let up. Like, literally one song after another is playing. There is not any point that they're not playing, like, some production song.
Some legitimate, you know, some nice, thoughtful cuts. But it's just at, like, such a rate and so obviously, like, you know, pandering to the, oh, this song's cool. Oh, this song's cool. You know, it's a little too much.
Right, it was kind of the same general power songs for the most part, or covers of power songs done in, you know, like...
Right, but I would say that this movie is good if you're just, like, if you just really like the character, or you want to see, like, some cool outfits. Another thing, the guy that runs the fashion store, the little secondhand, like, thrift fashion store, like the fancy thrift store, this guy ends up being one of her henchmen. And I was like, you know, I could understand him helping her out with like her outfits and stuff, but why is he like breaking into the palace doing this illegal shit with her? Did I forget something happened?
I also didn't really think that it made sense that she was supposed to be like this genius fashionista, but she
was smart as
she
hell.
had him making all her clothes. And she also...
Oh, he did make all her fucking clothes.
Yeah,
didn't
all
he?
the outfits where she's upstaging the Baroness. It's looking like he made all those outfits for her. So really, like, he's the one.
And he sings that. Oh, there was that part where he sings "Now I Want to Be Your Dog," and that was the one kind of clever thing I thought, where they put on the impromptu like park show, and the guy's singing "Now I Want to Be Your Dog," and then Cruella was wearing the Dalmatian outfit, kind of making think that the Baroness, whose Dalmatians had been kidnapped, she's supposed to think like, oh my god, she made a coat out of my dogs. But it was just like, no, she somehow got Dalmatian for her elsewhere.
Right.
She acquired it through ethical sources. The twist is that she acquired it from ethical sources.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cast alright. Most of the accents weren't, they were just stereotypical and played by Americans.
Yeah, it was.
But
It was definitely a very American take on British life movie.
I did think that Emma Stone was alright as Cruella. I didn't mind that.
Oh yeah, she did the character all right. The problem with this movie, I thought, was the story itself, which is stupid, and the tone.
Yeah.
And when I say the tone, I mean like when I was watching it, especially towards the end, I was thinking like if this was an actual like a horror movie, like if it was kind of more gritty and sadistic and not like a very tame Disney movie that's just has all this adult themes, like it might have been interesting. Like it needed like a little Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Like they should have made some original songs. You know,
the Florence
and made
song at
their
the
own
end,
musical.
I think, was original, and it was alright.
It was original. They were like, here, we wrote this song, Florence Machina starts singing.